Mr. Ogletree is before the court with his counsel, Mr. Brenner, Mr. Knippen, Ms. Nicholson, on behalf of the state of Ohio. We're here for sentencing. You wish to be heard on the issue of postponement, continuance.
I did, Your Honor. I know we had some conversations back in chambers since yesterday, and I just spoke with my client here again to confirm. I have had contact with my client's family. He has a sister that's called me. I've spoken with his paramour. They are indicating they would like to be present. They are coming from the Cleveland area. They were not able to be here today. I told them I request a continuance. They indicated they'd be able to be here on Monday or Tuesday of next week. And so I am placing that request on the record. I understand logistically there's another family involved, and I understand that. But I did want to make that request for the record. And further, I've been discussing with my client. He's requesting that the court complete a PSI.
State wish to be heard on that request.
Your Honor, the victim's family is present. They would like to go forward with sentencing today. So would the state. They've been here throughout the entire week for this trial. And I think that there's no reason that this should be postponed. The state's prepared to go forward with sentencing today, and we request to move forward.
All right, that request is denied. We will proceed with sentencing now. I don't see a need for having a pre-sentence investigation. The court has sat through the testimony of this case. The court is aware of Mr. Ogletree's prior record and his current prison sentence, so I don't see a need for a pre-sentence investigation. So that request is denied. We are here for sentencing. We've just sat through 3 full days of a jury trial. The jury has returned a verdict of guilty on all 3 counts from the indictment.
And then I would like to make a brief statement, and then the victim's mother, Tamika, would also like to address the court. Your Honor, I think what's important to note here is that the defendant is 30 years old, and he is currently in prison for numerous crimes, to include attempted theft, failure to comply, robbery, receiving stolen property, harassment by an inmate, theft, disrupting public services, theft, attempted theft, vandalism, firearms in a motor vehicle, B&E, and also involuntary manslaughter, which my understanding was a murder charge that was pled down to involuntary manslaughter. And his current outdate is not until 2043. So just the number of crimes he's just in prison for now at the age of 30 speaks volumes. And I know the court has sat through 2 trials in this case and is well aware of all of the facts, so I don't want to rehash those. But I do think what's important for the court to think about, and what struck me in watching the videos, is immediately after this violent assault, where he caused all of those injuries that we saw to the victim, you see the defendant on camera, and he did not care. The complete depravity of the defendant's attitude towards beating a man like that, to the point that he lost his life, and he's walking around the cell joking, laughing with other inmates. At least with inmate Cummings, there was some testimony that he seemed to be worried about the condition of the victim or how he was doing. With defendant Ogletree, it is clear from that video that taking that man's life meant nothing to him. And so because of that, I don't think there is any reason that someone like that should ever be out walking amongst society again. And so the state would be requesting that the court impose the maximum possible sentence. And then Tamika would like to make a statement to the court as well.
Your Honor, no words can truly capture the depth of my pain and the void left in my life. After the loss of my son, Marquise Weatherington, he was more than just my child. He was my firstborn, pride, my joy. While he has made mistakes in life, he still had dreams, hopes, and so much life ahead of him. And all that was stolen in an instant. The day I learned my son had been murdered, my world shattered. Every day I wake up with a hole in my heart. I can no longer hear his laughter, hug him when I need comfort or see. There are nights I cannot sleep because of the images that replay in my mind. Holidays and birthdays are no longer celebrations, but painful reminders of his absence. Even the simplest things like hearing his favorite songs or even looking at his son can break me. Your Honor, I want you to understand that my son was not just a troublemaker. He was a beloved son, father, grandson, brother, friend. His life mattered. He deserved the chance to live and grow and fulfill his potential and was close to getting out and doing this. Because of this crime, that chance was taken away forever. I am left to live with the unbearable reality of his absence. I respectfully ask that when considering sentencing, the court recognizes the gravity of what has been taken, not only from me, but from everyone who loved him. The pain of losing a child to violence never goes away. My hope is that justice will be served and not that any other family will have to experience the kind of loss from these defendants.
Thank you. Anything from probation? No, Your Honor. Mr. Brenner?
Thank you, Your Honor. A couple of things. First, I want to state that I know the court's aware throughout this case, I've spent a good amount of time with Mr. Ogletree. I've gotten to know him, gotten to know his family, and I think I can say definitively this man is not a monster. I know that it was not his intention to hurt this man or his family. I don't know that we're ever going to know the full truth of what took place that day, but I think that Mr. Ogletree is being truthful when he said that he had no problems with Mr. Wetherington. I think it speaks to his character also. We spoke more than once about the victim's family and about him wanting the victim's family to know what took place and to know who was responsible. In fact, I think yesterday, when we were talking about waiting for the family to come so that they could hear the verdict, my client said, I think they have a right to be here. We were kind of whispering back and forth. And I know that this is a situation that has weighed heavily on Mr. Ogletree. He knows that regardless of whether the outcome of this trial, he's going to be in prison for decades. And I think we've talked, he recognizes that, and I'm not here to make excuses, but he's from the projects of Cleveland. He had a rough upbringing. He's had a lot of adversity in his life. Not that that's an excuse. I just want the court to be aware of that. And I think he recognizes that he needs to and he wants to change and not be this person and not be associated with crimes or illegal activity or, frankly, breaking the rules in a facility. He wants to be the kind of person who is at peace with himself and at peace with other people. I think he's making progress in that direction. And again, I know the court's aware of kind of the progress of this case, but I think Mr. Ogletree has been respectful. He has been, obviously, I know there was a slight issue during the trial, but we had no problems whatsoever, and I do not anticipate there being problems in the future with Mr. Ogletree. Obviously, this entire situation was horrible and a tragedy, and we are so sorry to the victim's family. With that being said, Your Honor, this was nearly 2 years ago, and I do think that Mr. Ogletree has started to make that change that I was just speaking about and that I know that he wants to do. And I just hope that the court recognizes that, takes that into consideration. Additionally, I will reiterate, I know the court's aware he's in prison currently until 2043. I would just ask the court to issue an appropriate sentence that would perhaps permit Mr. Ogletree in his old age to have some taste of freedom. And we just ask the court to consider that, and thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ogletree, is there anything you'd like to say before I sentence you?
Yes, Your Honor. First and foremost, I want to apologize to the family because I never got a chance to. Even though I'm not even going to sit and make excuses for myself. I just want to apologize because don't nobody deserve to be through that. And I was sorry. I'm sorry you would put you through this, man. I'm sorry. Sincerely, through my heart, and I know they brought up my record. I took accountability. I copped out to my actions. This one, I feel like the person who was really involved, he slithered away. So I wanted to take accountability. I did. I wanted to cop out. But I wanted the person who was really involved to take accountability first, because it was his actions. I never had a problem with your son, man. I mean, I'm sorry if I never had a problem with your son, man. Like I never even had no physical, like, I know you was familiar with coming and shit, like, they're from the same city. He's told me he was friends with your son. Like, he is not to be trusted. That's all. And I want to warn you that because you deserve to know that. And I don't want to really say too much because some of my words, but I'm so sorry for your loss, man. And everybody over there, I'm sorry for everybody lost.
Thank you.
I didn't deserve that.
Thank you.
But again, I took responsibility for my actions and those charges that I'm sentenced for. I took responsibility. I didn't want to make this all long, drawn out. I didn't want this for everybody that's present. I didn't want this. But I just feel like I was my back against the wall, and the person who brought me in the situation was putting it all on me. So I had no choice. I wanted to get on that stand and tell everything, but the consequences, like, that I will suffer behind that, like, I can severely be hurt. So it's just like I was confused, Your Honor. I was confused. I didn't know. I was never, like, this was a situation was really new to me. I never even was like I told Brenner numerous of times, like, I just wanted justice for the family. Numerous of times, from the beginning to the end, I told him, like, I just want, like if I do get on that stand, it's not gonna be for no jurors, it's not gonna be for the nobody present but the family. If I do get on there, cause I just want them to be understanding, but I feel like I would just save it to the end, like, or just. But at the end of the day, Your Honor, I'm already doing a long time in prison. I'm already doing a long time. I'm looking to get home, and I'm 50 something. So that's already deprived of my life, my children's life. I have children too. I'm already deprived of them. So, like, I know they looking for justice, but, like, I'm already deprived of my life, you know. I'm already looking to come home old. Like, I don't, like, at this point, I'm thinking, like, any time farther than that, like, I'm not even looking forward to coming home anymore. So it's like, what do I do from here? Like, I'm overwhelmed with so much at this point. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm strong enough to stand behind that. Like, but I don't know. I feel like I'm diving in, Your Honor. So I just wanted to express myself to you before you sentence me, because, you know.
All right, thank you, sir. It is difficult to imagine, Mr. Ogletree. I know that you are already serving a long sentence, and now the court intends to add time to that sentence. I honestly don't know how I can, in any way, no matter what my sentence is, provide comfort and justice to Mr. Wetherington's family. I just can't. They sat through 2 trials in this case. Mr. Knippen brings up a point which I was going to mention, is that after this, and the court does believe, after sitting through 2 trials and hearing from the jury yesterday, that you were involved in this, that you did in fact beat Mr. Weathering to the point of his death. I mean, I have no doubt about that. Your actions on the video immediately following that shows no remorse. I don't know how you could have any type, how you could be involved in something like this and not be affected to your core that you've just taken a man's life. And this isn't the first time that you've taken someone's life. This is second time that you've killed another human being. And now you want me to have sympathy on you because your life is now ruined. You exterminated 2 lives from this world. They're gone. They won't come back. This lady will never be able to hug her son again. Forget that.
I did not.
Listen to me. You had a chance to talk uninterrupted by anybody. Now, if you have something else to say, I'll give you a chance. But once I start speaking, I do not expect to be interrupted. Are we clear on that?
I apologize.
Okay. Is there something else you want to say?
I apologize. When somebody try to tell you you did something, and you ain't do it, it's hard for me to just like.
Well, again, here's the problem, Mr. Ogletree. You can't in one breath say, I wanted to take accountability. I'm sorry for the family. And then in the next breath say, I didn't do anything. That's not how this works. So either you are accountable or you're not. The jury has spoken. The 12 members of that jury found you guilty of these offenses. So I quite frankly agree with the jury. So I'm not going to even dispute this with you. Is there anything else you want to say? And then after this, do not interrupt me again. Is there something else you want to say?
I thought you was giving me a time. The reason why I just was still talking because I thought you just asking me that same question.
I'm not asking questions. I'm making observations right now.
Your Honor, if I may, on behalf of Mr. Ogletree, I believe what he's intending to say, just based on my interactions with him, is he wanted to take accountability for his involvement, but he does deny being the one who beat Mr. Weatherington. I know that's
I understand that's what you're saying.
yeah.
But again, the jury has spoken. The facts have been decided by a jury, and quite frankly, based upon what I saw on the video of his actions following him leaving Mr. Weatherington's cell 2J3, the court, I find that incredible. I mean, I just do. So I won't go on any other. We have states exhibits 92 and 93, which have been stipulated to, which show prior convictions of Mr. Ogletree. The court has considered the statements made here today, the purposes and principles of sentencing, the relevant seriousness and recidivism factors. And ma'am, there's no justice that I can dish out today that's going to satisfy you. There's nothing that I can do. I cannot bring your son back, and you have the sympathy of the court. Court does find that counts 1 and 2 are dealing with offenses of arising out of the same incident, and that they are allied offenses of similar import, and they will merge. Count 2 will merge into count 1, the state electing to proceed with sentencing on count 1, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. On count 1, the court will order that you serve a sentence of 15 years to life. On the repeat violent offender specification, the court will order you to serve 10 years, that to be served consecutive to the 15 years to life. On the aggravated robbery, the court will order you to serve 11 years to 16 and a half years in prison. That is the Reagan-Tokes, and again, I'm not really certain, as I sit here today, how that interacts with the indefinite sentence on the life, 15 to life. I will order that to be served consecutive to count 1, and on the repeat violent offender specification, 10 years consecutive to the count 3 and consecutive to count 1 and the specification to count 1. Court finds that the consecutive sentences are necessary to punish this defendant and to protect the public from future crime. It is not disproportionate to the conduct or danger posed by the defendant, and these offenses were committed while the defendant was already incarcerated with the Department of Corrections. If you change your residence address during the 10-year enrollment period, you shall provide written notice of that change to the sheriff with whom you most recently enrolled and to the sheriff in the county in which you intend to reside within 3 business days of the change of address. You are required to comply with all of the above described requirements for a period of 10 years unless your sentencing court determines otherwise. Mr. Logston has a form that basically says the same thing that I just read to you, that I'm asking you to please sign for me, please, and your copy will be given to you. The court does find that he's indigent for the purpose of any fines, costs, or other financial
Thank you, Your Honor.
sanctions. and is 0 days jail time credit as of today on this sentence. If you're not released when your minimum term ends, you will serve an additional specified period of time and given a new release date. You'll serve until that date unless you are again denied release. The process could repeat until you are released or you finish your maximum term, which again in this case is life. You do have a right to appeal both the jury's decision and this court's sentence to the 12th District Court of Appeals. If you want to appeal, you must file your notice of appeal within 30 days of today's date. If you can't afford to pay for the transcript or anything necessary for your appeal, that can all be provided to you at no cost. If you cannot afford an attorney, I will appoint one for you at no cost. Mr. Knippen, did I leave anything out?
Your Honor, just two things, just for the record. I know you indicated there was a stipulation to 92 and 93, which were the certified copies of the defendant's prior convictions. The court is making a finding of guilty.
I'm sorry, yes. Yeah, based upon the stipulation and the findings of the jury, the court will make a finding of guilty with regard to the specifications for the repeat violent offender.
And then also with respect, I know you ordered the sentences to run consecutive to one another. That's also consecutive to the prison sentence that he's currently serving.
I'm sorry, yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all.
If I didn't say that, that was the court's intention all along, yes. All right, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brenner?
Your Honor, I will, just to preserve it for the record, I will place an objection to indefinite sentencing on constitutional grounds.
Thank you. All right, anything else, sir?
No, not this time.
Mr. Ogletree, as I said, you have a right to appeal the court's decision of your sentence and the jury's verdict. If you'd like, I will have Mr. Brenner file that notice of appeal for you, and then I will appoint new counsel to handle your appeal if that's what your wishes are. You can let Mr. Brenner know before you leave. All right, anything else, folks?
No, Your Honor.
All right,
This
thank
time,
you.
Your Honor.
What's that?
Not at this time.
Okay.
No.
And Dina, you can have these back. Habit of throwing it at the people's office.
I let the man free. Possible.
I'll file that today.
Hey, real quick. We're still on the record here. The notice of duties to enroll as a violent offender form was presented to Mr. Ogletree, and he's refused to sign it, just for the record. He was given an opportunity. It was read to him on the record. He's refused to sign it, and that's fine. So,
Thank you.
You want these back? Yeah.